My name is Marissa Dalton, and I am 17 years old living in the small and often rainy town of Maplewood, Oregon. If you have ever been to the Pacific Northwest, you know that the clouds can stay gray for weeks and the tall pine trees always seem to be dripping with water. My life in Maplewood was mostly quiet and predictable until the year Leon Dowling decided to make everyone miserable. I have lived here my entire life, and I always thought I knew what to expect from the people in this town, but Leon proved me wrong by showing just how cruel one person could be. I am a senior at Maplewood High School, and I usually try to stay under the radar because being noticed by the wrong people can make your life a living nightmare. I spend most of my time drawing in my sketchbook or hanging out with my best friend Chelsea. Chelsea is the kind of person who would give you the shirt off her back if you needed it. She is incredibly kind and funny, and she has a laugh that can make an entire room feel brighter even on the darkest Oregon winter days. However, Chelsea has always struggled with her self-confidence because of her weight. She has been on every diet you can imagine, and she works harder than anyone I know, but some people are just built differently. I never cared about that because she is a beautiful person inside and out, but Leon Dowling did not see it that way. Leon was the kind of guy who thought he was a king because his father owned the biggest car dealership in the county. He drove a shiny black truck that he would rev loudly in the school parking lot just to make sure everyone was looking at him. He was tall and athletic, but he used his strength to intimidate people rather than to help them. He had a group of followers who laughed at everything he said, even when his jokes were mean and disgusting. Leon chose Chelsea as his primary target, and it made my blood boil every single day. He would follow her down the hallway and make oinking noises, or he would wait until the cafeteria was quiet to shout something horrible about what she was eating. The worst part was that the teachers never seemed to catch him, or they just looked the other way because his family donated so much money to the school sports programs. I tried to stand up for her many times, but Leon would just turn his venom on me, and Chelsea would beg me to just let it go because she did not want to cause more drama. She would just put her head down and walk faster, and I could see her eyes filling with tears. It was a slow and painful thing to watch my best friend lose her spark because of one boy who thought he was untouchable. One Tuesday afternoon, the rain was pouring down harder than usual, and the air inside the school felt heavy and damp. We were all standing in the main hallway near the lockers waiting for the final bell to ring. Chelsea was standing next to me holding her books, and she was actually smiling because she had just received an A on her history project. Then Leon Dowling walked up with his friends. He stopped right in front of Chelsea and blocked her path. He looked at the sandwich she was holding in her clear plastic bag, and he made a face like he was smelling something rotten. He looked around at the crowd that was starting to form, and he said in a loud voice that echoed off the metal lockers that Chelsea was only fat because she eats so much shit. He repeated it over and over again while his friends laughed and pulled out their phones to record her reaction. He said that she probably went home and ate buckets of garbage and that she was disgusting to look at. I could see Chelsea shaking, and her face was turning a deep shade of red. I stepped forward to tell him to shut his mouth, but before I could say a word, something inside Chelsea snapped. It was like a dam had broken after years of holding back the water. She dropped her books, and they hit the floor with a loud thud that made everyone jump. Leon did not stop, though, because he thought he was safe. He thought that because she was a girl, and because she was usually quiet, that she would never fight back. He was still laughing and calling her names when Chelsea suddenly lunged at him. It was not a small push or a slap. She tackled him with all the force of her built-up anger, and they both hit the floor hard. Leon was so surprised that he did not even have time to put his hands up. Chelsea was on top of him in a second, and she started throwing punches like she was a professional fighter. It turns out that Leon was all talk and no action. As soon as he realized he was in a real fight, he started to panic. He tried to pull away, but Chelsea had a firm grip on his expensive designer hoodie. She started pulling him around by his hair, and every time he tried to crawl away, she would pull him back and land another hit on his face. The tough guy Leon Dowling started to cry. He was actually sobbing and begging her to stop while 100 students watched and filmed the whole thing. He was not the king of the school anymore, he was just a boy on the floor getting beaten up by the girl he had spent years tormenting. I stood there in shock, and honestly I felt a huge sense of relief. I knew fighting was not the answer to everything, but seeing him finally get what he deserved felt like justice. The principal and the school resource officer finally ran over and pulled them apart. Chelsea was breathing hard, and her hair was a mess, but she looked more powerful than I had ever seen her. Leon was a disaster. His nose was bleeding, and his eyes were swollen, and he was still whimpering like a lost puppy. Both of them were suspended immediately, but the story did not end there. That night, the videos of the fight were everywhere. Everyone in Maplewood was talking about how the big bully got his clock cleaned by Chelsea. However, Chelsea was still angry. She felt that a physical fight was not enough to make up for the years of psychological torture he had put her through. She wanted him to truly understand the weight of his words. The next morning, while she was sitting at home on her first day of suspension, she decided to take things to the next level. She sent Leon a private message on Snapchat. She told him that she was not done with him, and that if he did not want her to hunt him down and knock him out again the moment they got back to school, he had to do something for her. She told him that since he loved to tell everyone that she eats shit, he needed to show everyone who the real person was who would do such a thing. She told him that he had to film himself actually eating a piece of his own waste and send it to her as a video, or she would make sure his life at school was a living hell every single day until graduation. Now you might think that Leon would have told his parents or the police, but he was absolutely terrified of Chelsea now. He had seen what she could do, and he knew that his reputation was already in the gutter. He was also a coward at heart. A few hours later, a notification popped up on Chelsea's phone. It was a video from Leon. She opened it and could not believe her eyes. Leon Dowling, the richest and meanest kid in Maplewood, was sitting in his bathroom with a look of pure disgust and fear on his face. He followed her instructions exactly. He actually did it. He filmed himself eating a small piece of his own excrement to apologize and show that he was the one who was truly disgusting. Chelsea immediately used the screen record feature on her phone to save the video before it disappeared. She did not keep it to herself. She sent that video to every single person Leon had ever been mean to over the years. She sent it to the kids he had tripped in the halls, and the girls he had made fun of, and the boys he had intimidated. Within 20 minutes, the video had gone viral across the entire town. It went from Snapchat to Instagram to group chats with hundreds of people. By the time the sun went down, everyone in Maplewood, Oregon knew Leon Dowling as Shit Mouth. The humiliation was total and absolute. When the suspension was over and it was time to go back to school, Leon did not show up. He stayed home for another week, but eventually he had to come back to finish his classes. The day he walked back into the building was something I will never forget. As soon as he stepped through the front doors, a group of freshmen started making gagging noises. Someone had taped a picture of a toilet to his locker. Every time he tried to speak, people would just point at their mouths and laugh. He tried to hide in the library, but people followed him. Even the younger kids, who did not even know him, personally started calling him Shit Mouth in the hallways. He went from being the most feared person in school to being the laughingstock of the entire county. His father's car dealership even started getting prank calls from people asking if they sold cars that came with a free snack for Shit Mouth. It was the most perfect example of karma I have ever seen in my life. Leon Dowling thought he could use his words to destroy people, but Chelsea used those same words to destroy him. He could not handle the constant teasing and the way everyone looked at him with pure disgust. About 3 weeks after the video leaked, his parents pulled him out of school. We heard that they sold their house and moved to a different state because the embarrassment was too much for the whole family to handle. Chelsea, on the other hand, became a local legend. People who did not even know her would high-five her in the halls. She started walking with her head held high, and she never let anyone make her feel small again. She even started a club at school for students who had been bullied to help them find their confidence. We still live in Maplewood, and the rain still falls almost every day, but the atmosphere at school feels so much lighter now that the dark cloud of Leon Dowling is gone. Sometimes when me and Chelsea are sitting at our favorite diner, sharing a milkshake, we will look at each other and just start laughing. We do not even have to say his name. We just remember the look on his face in that video, and we know that justice was served in the most disgusting and hilarious way possible. Chelsea taught me that you do not have to be a victim, and that sometimes the best way to deal with a bully is to make them eat their own words literally and figuratively. I am proud to call her my best friend, and I know that whatever happens in the future, she is strong enough to handle it. Leon Dowling might be gone, but the story of Shit Mouth will live on in Maplewood, Oregon for a very long time as a warning to anyone who thinks they can step on others to make themselves feel big. It is a story about a girl who found her power and a boy who found out exactly what he was made of, and it turns out he was made of exactly what he accused others of being. I used to hate the rain in this town, but now when I see it washing the streets, I think about how the truth always has a way of coming out, and how some stains can never be washed away no matter how hard you try. Life is different now for all of us, and I think we are all a little bit better for it, except for Leon, who is probably still trying to figure out how he let a girl from Oregon take everything away from him with just one video and a lot of courage. My name is Marissa Dalton, and this was the year that everything changed in my small town, and I would not change a single second of it, because seeing a bully get exactly what he deserved is the best feeling in the entire world. And I will tell this story to anyone who will listen because everyone needs to know that the good guys, or in this case, the good girls, can win in the end if they are brave enough to fight back. Looking back on everything that happened during those few weeks, it feels almost like a movie, but it was our reality. The hallways of Maplewood High School used to feel like a gauntlet that we had to run every single day just to get to our classes without being insulted or pushed. Leon and his friends were like a pack of wolves, and we were just trying to survive until graduation. But after the incident, the entire social structure of the school shifted. It was like the air had been cleared of a thick fog. People started being nicer to one another, and the fear that Leon had cultivated was replaced by a sense of community. Even the teachers seemed more relaxed, although they never officially spoke about the video, they definitely knew about it. I remember seeing our history teacher, Mr. Miller, hiding a smile when someone mentioned the nickname "shit mouth" in the back of the classroom. It was a complete transformation. Chelsea changed the most of all. She stopped wearing baggy clothes to hide her body and started wearing bright colors that matched her personality. She joined the drama club and ended up getting the lead role in the spring play. Seeing her up on that stage under the bright lights with everyone cheering for her was one of the proudest moments of my life. She was not the girl who got called names anymore, she was a star. And as for me, I learned that being a bystander is not enough. I learned that supporting your friends means standing by them even when things get messy and loud. I started speaking up more, and not just for Chelsea, but for anyone I saw being treated unfairly. We both grew up a lot that year. Maplewood might be a small town tucked away in the corner of Oregon, but it holds a big story now. A story about how words can hurt, but actions can heal, and how sometimes you have to get a little dirty to clean up a mess. Whenever I walk past Leon's old locker, I do not feel angry anymore, I just feel a sense of peace, knowing that he can never hurt anyone here again. The power he thought he had was an illusion, and it disappeared the moment someone was brave enough to challenge it. I think about Leon sometimes, and I wonder if he learned his lesson, or if he is just being a bully in some other town where no one knows about the video. But then I realize it does not matter what he is doing because he has no power over us anymore. He is just a memory and a funny story we tell at parties. We are the ones who stayed, and we are the ones who are thriving. The rain is falling again today as I write this, and I can hear the drops hitting the roof of my house, but for the first time in a long time, the gray sky does not feel gloomy at all. It feels like a fresh start. Chelsea is coming over later, and we are going to plan our road trip for after graduation. We want to see the whole country and leave this small town behind for a while, but we will always carry this victory with us. It is a part of who we are now. We are the girls who took down the king of Maplewood High, and we did it by making him show the world who he really was. It is a long way from the quiet days of freshman year, but I am glad we went through it all because it made us who we are today. I used to be afraid of people like Leon, but now I know that they are usually the most scared people of all. They build themselves up by tearing others down because they have nothing else to offer. But when you strip away the expensive trucks and the designer clothes and the mean jokes, you find out there is nothing underneath but a coward who will do anything to avoid being the target himself. Leon proved that better than anyone ever could. So if you are ever in Maplewood and you hear someone mention the name Leon Dowling, just watch the faces of the people around you. You will probably see a few smiles and hear a few chuckles, because around here that name does not mean power anymore, it just means a very gross video and a very well-deserved downfall. We are moving on to bigger and better things, but we will never forget the time the bully had to literally eat his words. It is a story of revenge and a story of friendship, and most of all, it is a story about how one person snapping can change the lives of everyone around them for the better. I am Marissa Dalton, and I am finally proud of my town and my best friend and myself for standing tall when it mattered the most. The end of our high school journey is just the beginning of the rest of our lives, and we are going into it with our heads held high and a story that will never get old. We have learned that justice is not always served by the people in charge, but sometimes it is served by the people who have had enough. And that is the most powerful lesson of all. Every time I see a new student walk into our school, I hope they know they are entering a place where bullies do not win and where friends look out for one another. That is the legacy Chelsea left behind, and I am honored to have been there to see it happen from the very first punch to the very last second of that infamous video. We are the legends of Maplewood High, and we earned that title through fire and rain and a little bit of gross karma. It is a long story, but every word of it is true, and every word of it is worth telling, because people need to know that they have the power to change their world even if they are just a 17-year-old girl in a small rainy town in Oregon. We are the ones who define our lives, not the people who try to bring us down, and that is a truth that Leon Dowling found out the hard way. I hope he is enjoying his new life wherever he is, but I hope he never forgets the name Chelsea, and I hope he never forgets the lesson he learned in that bathroom. Because we certainly will not. We are the survivors and the winners, and we are just getting started. The world is a big place, and I know there will be more bullies out there, but now I know exactly how to handle them, and I know that I will never have to face them alone as long as I have friends like Chelsea by my side. We are a team, and we are unstoppable. That is the real revenge. Not just the video and the humiliation, but the fact that we came out of it stronger and happier than ever before while he lost everything. That is how you truly win. You live a good life, and you never let the mean people take your joy away. And that is exactly what we are doing every single day. The sun might not shine much in Maplewood, but our future looks brighter than ever, and I cannot wait to see what happens next in our story. But no matter where we go or what we do, we will always be the ones who knew the real Leon Dowling, and we will always be the ones who got the last laugh. It is a perfect ending to a difficult chapter and a perfect beginning to a new one, and I am so glad I got to be the one to tell it to you today. Remember that your voice has power, and your actions have consequences, and always be careful what you say, because you never know when someone might make you eat those words in the most literal way possible. Stay strong and stay brave, and never let the Leons of the world win, because they do not deserve your tears, and they certainly do not deserve your silence. Speak up, stand up, and fight back when you have to, because the feeling of victory is so much better than the feeling of fear. I know that now, and I will never forget it as long as I live, and I hope you do not either. This is Marissa Dalton signing off from the beautiful, rainy, and now much more peaceful town of Maplewood, Oregon, where the air is fresh, and the bullies are gone, and the legends are just getting started on their next big adventure. It has been a wild ride, but I would not change a single thing about it, because it led us here to this moment of peace and happiness, and that is all anyone can really ask for in this life. So here is to Chelsea, and here is to justice, and here is to the best revenge story ever told in the history of our small town. May it be a lesson to us all, and a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a way to find the light if you are willing to fight for it, and that is the absolute truth. I am going to go meet Chelsea now, and we are going to talk about the future and laugh about the past, and enjoy every single second of being young and free and powerful in a world that once tried to make us feel like we were nothing, but now knows exactly who we are and what we are capable of doing. It is a good day to be alive in Oregon, and it is a good day to be Marissa Dalton. Goodbye for now, and remember to always be kind, but never be a doormat, because you are worth so much more than anyone else's cruel words, and you have the power to prove them wrong every single day of your life, just like we did. It is a long journey, but it is worth every step, and I am so glad I got to share it with you. Take care of yourself and your friends, and never forget that you are the hero of your own story, no matter what the bullies might say, because in the end, they are just a small part of a much bigger and more beautiful picture, and you are the one holding the brush. So paint something amazing and never look back, because the best is yet to come, and you are ready for it. I know I am, and I know Chelsea is too, and that is all that matters. The end. Actually, it is just the beginning, but for this story, it is the perfect place to stop and let the rest of our lives unfold in all their glory and wonder. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope it inspired you to be a little bit braver today. Because if we could do it in Maplewood, Oregon, then you can do it anywhere. Just remember the girl who fought back, and the boy who became a legend for all the wrong reasons, and you will know exactly what to do when your moment comes. Good luck and stay strong out there. You have got this, and I am rooting for you every step of the way, just like I rooted for Chelsea and just like she rooted for me. We are all in this together, and we are all going to be just fine as long as we keep fighting for what is right and never give up on ourselves or each other. That is the secret to a happy life and the secret to the best revenge of all. Living well and being happy and knowing that you are the one who came out on top in the end. And that is the final word on the matter from me, Marissa Dalton. Have a great day and a great life, and never forget the story of the bully who literally had to eat his words. It is a classic for a reason, and I am so happy I got to be a part of it. See you around and keep being awesome. The world needs more people like you and fewer people like Leon. Let us make it happen one story at a time. This is my story, and I am sticking to it because every word is the absolute truth and every word is a victory. Cheers to that, and cheers to a future where we are all the heroes of our own lives. I am going now because the rain has stopped and the sun is finally trying to peek through the clouds, and that is a sign that it is time to go out and live. Talk to you later and stay amazing. The end for real this time, but the memory will last forever. Bye. Actually, I should mention one more thing before I go. Chelsea's club at school has grown to over 50 members now, and it is the most popular group on campus. We help kids with their homework, we give them a place to eat lunch where they feel safe, and we even started a community garden. It is amazing how much good can come from such a bad situation. Leon's departure was the catalyst for a total cultural shift, and I am so proud of what we have built. It just goes to show that you can take something ugly and turn it into something beautiful if you have the right people by your side. Okay, now I am really going. The milkshake is calling my name, and so is my best friend. Life is good, truly good, and I hope yours is too. Peace out.